Is Brandon Turner right? Runs a $1 billion real estate portfolio. So the guy is doing some stuff. But he just came out on a Ryan Pineda interview and said that rentals don't work. You know what? We're going to go to Matt first because I just want to. I just want to get into it just hard and heavy. Matt, what do you think? Is Brandon right? Is Brandon Turner right? The young man has sold millions of copies of books. He is obviously one of the biggest names behind Bigger Pockets. He has raised 9 figures. And if what I've heard is correct, he runs a $1 billion real estate portfolio. So the guy is doing some stuff. But he just came out on a Ryan Pineda interview and said that rentals don't work, which got my attention. It got my attention so much that the 4 Avengers sent around text messages last night. So I thought, why not just ask Dion and Matt, is Brandon right? You know what? We're going to go to Matt first because I just want to. I just want to get into it just hard and heavy. Matt, what do you think? Is Brandon right? Rentals don't work?
Yeah, let's go to the big mouth that never checks what he says.
Yeah. Exactly. Let's just start hot.
Perfect. I mean, maybe there's something in his portfolio that's not working. That certainly is an option. Maybe for him, something's not working. Is it a syndication? Is it his existing portfolio? I mean, I can tell you for me, for my students, rentals are working pretty well.
Yeah.
Margin's pretty awesome. Things are going really well. I had, with all of the projects we had going on, we had 26 open units in July. And that was with a bunch of open projects. And now I have 3. And 2 of them haven't gone to market yet. So I'm counting them in the 3. So I really only have 1 vacancy out of 137 units. So for me, feeling pretty good. How I'm managing my portfolio, feeling pretty good. But usually somebody that's saying that is seeing something in what they're doing in their market or in their syndication or in their portfolio, why it's not working. So I don't know. I haven't reviewed, but usually that means that something that they're looking at, I think he's an honest man. So I think that something that he's looking at is probably not working.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll dig into that a little bit more, but let's go to Dion. Dion, what do you think? Rentals not working. Is Brandon Turner right?
I think I stole his answer.
Well, I'm gonna play devil's advocate.
Oh, thank God.
Good. Okay. He's absolutely right. 100%.
Okay.
Because what tells us what is right or what is working is based on your end goals. If your end goal is financial freedom through cash flow, it's working. If your end goal is Brandon Turner's, having reached financial freedom, now dedicating probably 60, 70 hours a week to growing syndications, to getting funds together for the next deal, rentals wouldn't work. Based on your end goal, does this work or not? For him, no. So he's right. For him, it's not working. Yeah. That's the first thing. The second thing is rentals don't work if you don't shift with the market. Exactly. And when he's referencing things like the Burr strategy, which worked great for a decade because prices were going up, interest rates were going down. Flipping, prices were going up, interest rates were going down. You can make a mistake that could delay your thing 2 or 3 months and the market covered your stupidity. It worked great. Does that work now? The successful flippers and people doing Burr strategies for a decade will probably be okay. The new investor that has that learning curve to add to that, probably not. So for a decade, when I was investing 1 rental at a time, the rentals that did work and do work, speed was what I was looking for. I wanted to make an offer quick and get that letter of pre-qualification, docu-signed, actual offer made before the seller realized they were going to get inundated with offers. I'm shifting with the market, and the last deal that I acquired was on the market over 100 days. I started watching days on market. When things sat longer, I started making those lower offers. I'm shifting with the market. If you don't shift with the market and your goal right now was to just make quick offers at asking price, you're probably not going to get very many hits. So if you don't shift with the market, it won't work. And if your end goal doesn't align with rentals, So this is probably why you get invited on Ryan Pineda's channel, and I never will. Ryan is part of the hustle culture. Mm-hmm. Couch flipping to generate income, to become a social media, he's just a monster and growing, doing it really smart. Mm-hmm. You are about focus, daily discipline, do the work, one rental at a time, that hustle culture, right? I'm the lazy guy. I'm like, do as much as you can in a short period of time so you never have to do anything again. That's not going to make it in hustle culture. So end goal is why I think Brandon was right for him.
Yeah, again, I want to be honest with the audience. I have a problem with Brandon Turner. I actually did a video why I hate that guy. So I'm not going to rehash any of that. But what I am going to say is when I sat back after watching that 90-minute discussion, what I really heard Brandon say, and this is reading between the lines, it is clearly my opinion, and I could be wrong, is, guys, what I am really, really good at is raising lots of money. And right now, when you raise lots of money, you have to put it to work, and it's hard today. It's frankly harder today than it's been in the last 5 or 6 years. So what I need to do, I being Brandon, because I already know how to raise endless amount of capital, is I need to go to the next hot thing. And what is the next hot thing? Well, Cody Sanchez. Cody Sanchez is lighting the world on fire in all the positive ways. I love what she is doing. She is highlighting that there is a ton of opportunity in buying boring businesses that are being run by boomers who have no technology and all of that. So what I saw Brandon talk about is he is going to pivot, again, my opinion, from buying real estate because it's hard and he can't do it at scale today. So he's just going to buy some boring businesses and, try to deploy other people's capital in other areas. So again, kind of what Dion said, it's right for him. He can raise 9 figures. He's running $1 billion portfolio and clearly having a lot of fun. The guy lives on 80 grand a month. If Ryan Pineda is right. How the hell do you live on $80,000 a month?
I'll try.
I'm not sure I could, but anyways, that's a different story. But he's having a really good life and he wants to keep raising capital and deploying it. So I think for Brandon Turner, he's going to go buy some small businesses and, he's out of real estate. That's kind of what I heard kind of at the end of that discussion. We'll go back the other way. Dion, what do you think of that?
So I think the missing element here that we're not really talking about is the chronology of the influencer. If you look at Grant Cardone, there was a period of time about 5 years ago, he was saying, if you're looking at apartments and it doesn't have at least 16 units, don't waste my time. About 3 years ago, it became, if you're looking at apartments and it doesn't have 32 units, don't look at it, don't waste my time. Forgetting he started with a single family house. Mm-hmm. Brandon Turner saying rentals don't work is forgetting he started with Aberdeen, Washington. This is literally what the Apache called the boondocks. It's the middle of nowhere. There's nothing around it. Buys a fourplex for his daughter on a 15-year note. So he gets the cash flow. When his daughter's about to turn 18, he can refinance out, give her a chunk of change to invest or college or whatever, and he maintains the asset. Like his lessons that he's had that involved rentals don't impact what he's doing now. So it's that influencer growth where I think what we focus on is that new investor. It's one rental at a time. It's right out of your book. Get to 4. We're talking about get to 4, not to 400.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's not bad, but it's when somebody starts making more money from what they're doing on YouTube than what they're teaching how to do. It becomes challenging to find the person who's still going to focus. Right. Here's a good example. Graham Stephan starts off as a real estate agent, gets a bunch of rentals, reaches financial freedom. Then his YouTube blows up. Most of his content now is to get views. It's reacting to millennial money videos and stuff. But about 1 in 20 videos, it's fundamentals, the real basics. Here's how credit card, here's how your credit score works. Here's how one rental can do. So he still has that going on. I think we're losing that with some of the influencers that get so big, they get into syndications.
Yeah, well said.
Yeah.
Matt, any thoughts on all that?
I think that it's going to be tough to deploy, 100 million in small businesses. It's going to be tough to deploy that. So I I'm a small business guy.
Do you think it's harder? Well, here's the question. And again, this is my opinion. He's looking at multifamily. He's looking at, he likes trailer parks, I think. And he's like, that's really hard today. And maybe he's like, hey, this next new maybe he's suffering the shiny object syndrome. And he's like, hey, Cody Sanchez lighting the world on fire. He's a huge influencer. He probably has met Cody. I think he interviewed Cody actually on his podcast, so they know each other. You know, maybe he's suffering a little shiny object syndrome. I don't know.
I mean, I think that, what she does an amazing job at is making it seem like all any business needs is a great operator. There's plenty of businesses out there that no matter how great the operator is, they're stupid, like buggy whips. Okay. Like there's plenty of buggy whip businesses now today. There's many fewer now than there were 100 years ago. But the idea is that there are plenty of bad businesses out there. And it does kind of a little bit start with what the asset is. Right. However, that's not to be said that plenty of small businesses go out of business because they have bad operators. But kitten mittens is a bad idea. It doesn't matter who runs it. So I think the idea with, it's interesting because when you're poor, the biggest challenge is money. And when you're rich, the biggest challenge is the next idea for that money. That's always the issue. And so, I've been an entrepreneur. I was you name it, baseball cards, mowing lawns, snow shoveling, whatever it took. I found a way to create a business around it and make money from it. That's what I do. And so for me, in looking at real estate, that's what I did. That's what I picked. It's the best path for me. It's one I'll continue to expand on, but I still look at other businesses all the time. I own some of them. And, with being a great operator, yeah, it'll be more successful than other operators, but that doesn't mean it's worth my time. Yeah. Like it's hard to find a business to put 100 million or even 10 businesses to put 10 million bucks into that. You can then put that 10 million bucks and you can turn it into 50, even in 10 years. You can do that with real estate in a 10 or 20 year period. You can't do that with many other assets. You just can't. So that's where I think the challenge is going to become is I like boring businesses as well. So I'm all about that. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he does because there's a lot of trailer parks are cool. I just turned one down. And it was massive. It was something I could get the funding for in the whole 9 yards. And I was just like, it doesn't give me the feels. I don't feel it with this thing, but yeah, so this is where we're looking at asset inflation taking over because there's so many wealthy people out there with a ton of money still on the sidelines and they're not feeling it with the stock market anymore. And they bought as much Bitcoin as they want.
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, kind of what Dion and both of you are saying is I think Brandon, he has a skill, a reputation, the ability to attract funds, and he is leveraging that to all it's worth. Good for him. Mm-hmm. But I do think kind of what Dion was saying earlier is a lot of people up the influencer scale are forgetting about where they started.
Of course.
And there's a lot more people. There are a lot more people that should get to 4 rentals versus invest in a syndication. Agreed. I believe most people should build confidence in themselves and do it on their own and just focus in daily discipline versus, hey, I'm going to give, some guy on, that I saw online my last 50 grand. It just doesn't feel like the right thing to do. Let's wrap this up. Matt, where can people find you?
Lumberjack Landlord on YouTube and Instagram. And I would like to see Pineda on Undercover Billionaire.
Ooh, that would be fun.
Because I think because he's a hustler, he's one of those guys that would get on there. If he were broke tomorrow, 5 years, he's rich again.
Yeah, I think I've met Ryan Pineda. I've obviously been on his show. Yeah. I've talked to him multiple times. He just has it.
He does.
He just has it. So yeah, I think he's a guy to watch. I watch what he's doing. Hence, I watched the Brandon Turner interview because it was on his channel. Dion, where can people find you in closing thoughts?
Normally, you can find me right here on YouTube, Dion Talk Financial Freedom, where I do my live streams every Tuesday, 4 p.m. Pacific. But sometimes, because of rentals and how they don't work, I have to travel all over the country and find ways to spend money. Like this week, I'm in San Antonio. If you come down here, I recommend the Riverwalk.
Yeah.
I recommend the Natural Bridge Caverns.
Yes.
And I will recommend whatever I find today or tomorrow because I haven't found it yet.
And you're drinking Coors at I guess it's 10:15 for you.
You can't drink all day unless you start early.
There you go. Dion talk for the win. Thanks, guys.